folks. This is the third time I've started this because I keep saying and I'm noticing when I'm saying it now. So trying to not say it is causing me to stammer and stutter and try to think about what I'm going to say before I say it. And it's annoying. It's annoying me, and it's causing me to really dread trying to do a video. But I guess that maybe that's the way I always talk, and I just didn't notice. So the sentences just kind of joined together with over and over again. So you'll have to bear with me with that, because I'm probably going to start back into it again, and it drove me nuts the other day when I noticed how much it was going on. That's not the point of this video. The point of the video is to entertain you folks with some of the stuff that's been going on with me. And I know the last video wasn't that interesting. It was me in the car bitching about Christmas. Not really bitching, but just not understanding the whole, telling people what I want. I tell them what they can get me, I guess is the right thing. Not what I want, because what I want, I really need to pick it out for myself, or it's the type of stuff that people aren't going to get me anyway because they're afraid of that. So it's collectibles and things like that. So, it's just easier for me just to not ask for that stuff and say, shirts and Star Wars junk and stuff like that. So, but on a lighter note, I was able to get some Christmas ideas from my sister's kids and from them, so at least I'm able to start the shopping aspect of it, which, is almost done, really, at this point. But, see, I'm trying to not say, God, fuck. Anyway, I'm just gonna have to go and just say fuck it, because otherwise I'm gonna keep saying I'm just gonna stop while I'm doing it, and I don't want to stop because I'm trying to do the video, but it's throwing me off because I'm worried about saying all the fucking time. Okay, I got that out of my system. I'm just gonna go with it. I got some ideas for my sister's kids and them, so I started doing the Christmas shopping. I pretty much got a lot of it done. Packages are on their way to me, so I can wrap them and then give them to them. And so we're all good. We're on schedule for that. And we're getting close to the end of the year. Work has kind of been up and down. It's still pick up some days, and some days we're slow. I wish it would just be more steady, kind of constant. And the big thing you may notice is I kind of did some rearranging behind me, and I bought a new bookshelf. I did that on Sunday, but I'm going to start with my Saturday. Saturday, I went over to a place called Junk Appeal. Flea Mart closed, and a couple people had on their booths, see me at Junk Appeal or whatever. And so, I didn't have high hopes, but I thought maybe there might be some video game stuff there, at least maybe as much as there was at Flea Mart. And so I went over there and I shot a video in the car, and then I got out and I went inside and I started walking around, and it's kind of the same bag of, it's like, I wouldn't say it's thrift store shit, but it's like if somebody went to thrift stores and cleaned out all the high-end, like the best stuff, the best quality stuff in the thrift store, and then put it into a bunch of booths. That's what this place is kind of like. It's just like, glasses and plates and things, and like, just the same shit. Clothes and, knick-knacky shit, things like that. And I walked around in there. They had a lot of lamps. Some people had the booths with the little incense and oils and stuff you can buy and things. But there's nobody there. It's just like Flea Mart. There's nobody like in their booth, manning their booth. It's just, you talk to the management if there's a case or something that's locked that has something in it that you want to look at. Other than that, you're on your own. And we walked around in there, and I saw some interesting stuff. Nothing real fancy, and none of it was really electronics. I'm not going to post the video because it was really shaky, I noticed, when I started putting it together. And plus, there was a lot of Christmas music, and it was really fucking loud because they had like a huge, like, stadium speaker, you know, like a PA, like you would have for like a rock band, like you know, comes to town. Just this huge, like 5 foot wide, like fucking speaker blasting Christmas music. It's so loud. It was just unbearable in parts of the video because you could barely even hear me talking because the Christmas music was so loud. And, you know, I saw a couple things. I saw some Star Wars stuff. I saw a vintage one of those like Star Wars Darth Vader action figure holder cases that was from the 80s, but they wanted like $30 for it, and I'm like, no, not 30. And it was dirty as shit, 30 and dirty, you know. And it was like there's some other, you know, different things, but a lot of it was like newer stuff, like the Clone Wars cartoon and things, like glasses and stuff that, you know, it wasn't worth it. I think there was a 4-pack of them that was still in the pack thing, and they wanted like $18 for it, and I was like, no. You know, I saw a couple lunch boxes that were like a Darth Vader one and stuff, but they were like from the 90s or 2000s. You know, they weren't anything special. There was this one Superman one that was missing the handle, and it looked like it might have been older, but it was beat to shit. So you don't know. It could have been like a year old and just really beat up, so it looked old, because I couldn't find a copyright or any kind of a thing on it saying when it was made, so it's hard to say. Try to think of some other things. I might throw a couple little snippets on the end of this video, but I'm going to really trim it because some of it was shaky, and you know, just wasn't worth it. Because to be honest, folks, I only found one person there that had any video game stuff, and they had about a dozen Nintendo games that were loose, and they wanted $10 for the one that was on the top, which I think was like, I don't know, all the titles they had, I had them. You know, I think it was a Tengen cart, though, RBI Baseball or something on the top, and they wanted like, you'll see in the video, I don't remember what it was, but I remember the game was $10, whatever it was. And I looked through all the titles, and I pretty much either already had them all, or they weren't anything that I was willing to pay $10 for. Don't you jump up at my clothes. Stupid cat wants to jump up in the air and claw my shirts and stuff hanging down. Man, you think I'm just a pissy fucking asshole, you know? I mean, I just like, sounds like in these videos all I do is rant and bitch, man. I mean, maybe that's my life. So we walked around in there, and they had, like I said, the top one was $10, and it was in a locked case, and I was like, none of those games are worth me going and bugging them to come look at, because they're probably at least $10 each if the top one was $10. And it wasn't even one of the better games. They had Mickey Mouse Capade and I think a Mock Rider or something and a couple other ones, but it was like, you know, I already either had it or it wasn't worth it, you know. So, and then we had some of those shit booths that are just full of like friggin' junk, like Hamburger Helper and chips and shit, and you know, or cleaning products and gloves and, you know, stuff like that. One guy's booth was just full of fucking industrial, not industrial, but like commercial packs of like paper towels that had like 50 rolls in each pack, and he had adult diapers, like big packs of adult diapers, and feminine hygiene products. That was his whole booth, you know, and I'm just like, all right, whatever sells, I guess. But I did find two little things, and I got them over here, and I'm going to show them. And like I said, I'll probably try to throw some of the funnier couple little clippets on the end of this vid from that. But it was like a waste, because it was like a 40-minute vid, and a lot of it's shaky, and the music's so damn loud. It's just like, and it's not that it's Christmas music. I mean, that didn't bother me. It's just the music is so loud. It's like ridiculous. And, you know, that was kind of the deal. So I'm going to show these, what I picked up. And I was walking around. We did see some Garfield glasses, Shalazor. There were some Garfield glasses there, and I did freak out when I saw them. I was like, Shalazor, they got Garfield glasses. And, you know, I mean, I don't know. I was just, like, excited they had them. It wasn't the one that I needed. They were two of the ones that I already had. you know, and they wanted like $5 a piece for them, I think, but I was just kind of excited to even see them, because like I said, or at the thrift stores and stuff, you don't see them anymore around here. And I remember there was this weird record album in this one booth, and it was like Eisenhower. It was like, I guess it was speeches that he had given during his presidency or something, but it was like a record of Eisenhower speeches, you know, and I was like, okay, you know, I think the guy wanted like $25 for it or something. There's somebody had a Michael Jackson Bad record in their sealed case for $50. I was like, $50? Good Lord. You know, I like Michael Jackson as much as the next guy. I mean, I really liked Michael Jackson when I was a kid, like Thriller and Bad, even the Bad album, you know, but Thriller mainly. Anyway, I guess I'll show what I picked up. I did pick up a couple of glasses, and these are not Muppets, but I was looking for either Muppets or Star Wars, or I think Pizza had some Care Bear glasses at one point, and then these are Peanuts glasses. I found these in one booth. I was walking around, everything was overpriced. I mean, they had like this wood-carved Persian-looking cat in this one booth that I liked, but they wanted like $15 for it, and I would have paid like $8. You know, it was like, everything was like double the price that I would be willing to pay for it. And I don't know why people think their shit's worth a mint, but they do, and I guess they're okay to sit and not sell it. And just, I don't know. It makes me wonder if it's just like people that don't have anything better to do with their time, so they have booths. And, you know, if they sell stuff, great. But if they don't, you know, it's no big deal. It's just something to pass the time. You know, because really the way they mark shit just doesn't, to me, you know, scream trying to sell, you know. So, but I did find these, and I thought they were cool. There's 2 of them. And they only wanted $2 a piece, so that's why I went ahead and picked them up. They're Peanuts glasses. They're dirty. They need to be washed out and cleaned. But the decals, or the stuff that's on them, I don't know what you would call it, decals, but it's not like faded off or like, it doesn't look like these have been through a washer machine like 500 times. But, go on. I don't need you making noise. This is the thing. It's some Christine somebody. It was her booth. But she has it says 1950. I don't think these are from 1950. Well, no. That's from when the original Peanuts were made. These say 68 is the latest date on here, and I would say these were like from the 80s. They're not from 1950. But anyway, there's they're the Snoopy Camp Collection McDonald's glasses, and like I said, they're dirty, but they're pretty cool. And like I said, they're not scratched, and they do have the McDonald's logo on them there. They do need to be washed out, like the insides. That's why they look so dirty. And then this one, I think I like this one more than the other one. But this Snoopy one here, civilization is overrated. But yeah, I'm pretty sure these are from the 80s. You know, they're not from 1950. That's just when Peanuts was copyrighted originally, was 1950. But those are pretty cool. And for $2 each, I thought they were pretty cool. Since the cat wanted to play with these bags, I'm going to put these back in here real quick, so we're not hearing that shit the whole time. I don't have a lot of pickups and stuff, mainly just the story from the Junk Appeal, and also the story with the shelf. And there wasn't no elf on the shelf, believe me. It was more like a pissed off self on the shelf. Once again, pissed off. We got a couple of gamey things that came from eBay. I already talked about them, but I'm going to show them because I I don't know if I'll get around to doing the Space Pirates video anytime soon, but this is the Space Pirates 3DO game, the gun game that I picked up. The only gun game that I'm missing an original disc for now is Who Shot Johnny Rock. But this game, I hadn't seen a copy going for this kind of price, so I couldn't pass it up when I saw a complete copy. But this is what it looks like here, Space Pirates. And actually, from the gameplay I saw like on YouTube and stuff, it looked a lot like Ground Zero Texas on the Sega CD kind of style. And it's got the instructions in the game. And I paid $26 for this. He wanted $30 plus shipping. And I think he wanted like $4 shipping. So I think I talked him down to $26. And then $4 shipping, so it cost me about $30. It does have a little bit of a price sticker residue on it right here, which I don't know what I really want to do about, or if I really want to even worry about it. But it's pretty cool to have the game and to have it with the rest of the collection. Unfortunately, right now, the 3DO collection's the one that I have basically put up, except for maybe 6 or 8 games. It's easy for me to get to the games, but I have them boxed up because I just don't have any room. And I thought I would make more room by buying the shelf, but actually it generated less room in the end. And I'll kind of explain that when I get there. But Space Pirates. And we'd also talked about this. I picked up another copy of RC Pro-Am because I showed you that one that was pretty worked that I have. And I got that one at Vintage Stock. This one's not in too bad a shape. I don't remember what I paid at this point, but it's RC Pro-Am, and the edges are pretty nice. It does have regular wear, not a lot, but some. And this top edge looks a little bit like people have stuck their finger down in there to pull the thing, you know, and kind of bent it out a little bit at some point. But it does have both the fold ends, and the game came with a sleeve, and the copy of the game is actually nice. The label's not pulled up on it or anything, and it does have the instructions as well. And he has the instructions in one of those little keepers, and I'm just going to leave them in that. But yeah, it's nice to have a good copy of this. Cobra Triangle's another one that I'd like to get a good copy. Some guy was selling a Cobra Triangle box on there, but people were bidding on it, and I think I bid on it, but I wasn't going to pay over $10 because it was like a Cobra Triangle box and then a Guardian Legend box, and the Guardian Legend box was beat to shit, and I don't even think I have Guardian Legend the game. And so I was like, nah, you know, so I think I put in like 8 or 10. Seems like the last 2 or 3 things I bid on, I put in a max bid, and I'm like, this isn't really, nobody's really looking for this shit. You know, I'll probably win this. And then I'll come back the next day, and they're like, you have been outbid. Because I just don't care to go back and check right before, you know, it ends to make sure I win or not. Because if it goes over the amount that I put in as my max bid anyway, then I don't want to pay for it. So, and that was one of the things with the... there's this, I told you I was looking for instruction books, and we do have some instruction booklets that came tonight, so we're going to pull that open as well. We're getting close. We've got about 7 or 8 games outstanding now that are missing the directions, along with the Final Fantasy with the maps. It'd probably be easier just to cut the end off of this than to try to tear it open. So anyway, getting the games on the shelf over there, I thought, you know, in order to display them, I had to buy the shelf, which is fine, because I had them kind of here and there and everywhere. But what I didn't realize is when I put them out for display, I had less room because I was stacking two stacks of them, you know, one in front of the other. And so basically, the amount of space that one little shelf at the top took for the Nintendo games took almost this whole bottom area on this new shelf. And it's just like, because of that, I had to box up some of my Intellivision games. I don't even own an Intellivision, but I bought some games because they were at Thrift World. And And so I put up the Intellivision games. I put up the PS2 gun games that I had on top of the entertainment center. And trying to think of what else. I had to move the PlayStation games over here in order to get everything. But I think it looks better now. I think the Sega CD games look nice all up there. I don't know how many I have. I didn't really count things as I was going. And that's most of my Genesis collection. I do have about another half dozen games in a drawer over here I need to pull out and put over with those that I noticed this morning, actually, that I forgot about until just now. So, anyway, we got 3 direction books, nothing fancy, and they're not horrible, but they're not, pristine. We got Mylon's Secret Castle. It's got a little fold line on the back. The corners are a little bit, buggy, but there's no writing in it, and it was, I don't even know what I paid. 720 degrees. We were missing the directions. This copy is a little dirty, but it's with the real directions, and I think I'm okay with it. And then this copy of Rad Race directions looks pretty nice, actually, except it had a little dog ear on the back at one point. But that's 3 more of the games. I still have 2 copies of Iron Sword that I don't have instructions for, and Ninja Gaiden 2 that I don't have instructions for. But they're doubles of games I already do have the complete copy, so I'm not in that big a hurry. Those Rad Racer directions were fairly cheap, or I think it was like a buy 3, and get 10% off or something from this one guy, and I found 3 books. So, that kind of deal. And I don't know. I know I need Gilligan's Island directions and Superman. The Superman directions were the ones I was bidding on, because the only directions that I've seen for that game have not been Buy It Now. They've been bid on directions, and the game's not even that great. And it was like, you can buy a copy of the game with the directions for about the price the directions themselves are going for. So it's just like, what are you going to do? But I think I put in 8 on that, and then $2 shipping, so $10 was the most I was willing to pay for those directions. And I seriously was not really wanting to even pay that, because the game I bought directions for that were expensive, or that were pricier, that I got actually a good deal on that somebody put up for Buy It Now, was my Super C, Super Contra. So they were like $8.95, but free shipping. So, that's $9, about as expensive of an instruction booklet as I want to pay. But I hadn't seen the Superman ones at a decent price, and I was like, I'll pay 10, and it ended up going for like 14. I was like, forget it. That's $16 somebody paid for an instruction book, plus the shipping. $2 shipping, and then they ship it to you in something like this that was 39 cents. So what are you going to do? Well, and then the envelopes cost money. I'm not saying they don't, or the tape, but still, it's not $2. I might have to start the video over again. I don't know how much time we got left, or if we're still rolling. Looks like we might be. I can't tell. I'm going to stop it and start it over again. Alright, I'm back. I think I'm back. Let me check. Yeah, we back. We back. So, anyway, the story about the shelf is, I went over on Sunday after the Saturday fiasco. I decided I was going to do some rearranging and maybe try to reorganize my stuff. I went to buy the shelf at Walmart. I go in there. Walmart's, of course, it's a madhouse normally anyway, but it's Christmas time, so it's even worse. I go back. It takes forever. I finally find a shelf that's like $28, and I go up front. It was like 27 something. It was such an odd number. It stuck in my head. It was 27.83. And I go up front, and I got cat food in this shelf, and that's it. Like 10 cans of cat food. Not 10 cans, 10 cans. And I'm going through the speedy checkout. It's going pretty quick, actually, and I'm kind of surprised. Get up to the cash register. They go to scan the shelf. The price isn't coming up. And she scans it like 5 times, types the number in manually, then flicks her light on. We got to wait 4 minutes for the manager to come over. The manager comes over and does exactly the same thing the cashier just did. And then finally I was like, I go, you might want to send somebody back to look at the price. I go, it was $27.83. That's what I saw. You know, and then they didn't really respond to me when I said that at first, and then like a few more minutes go by, and then finally they're like, what'd you say it cost? And I go, $27.83, and she just keyed something in, and it came up $27.83 bookshelf. And so, you know, she might have manually put it in or something. And I was like, fine. So I get it out to the car. The thing weighs like 70 pounds of dead weight, picking it up to throw it in the back of the car. Throw it in there, get the cat food in there, you know, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna head home. So I'm heading home. Well, right as I'm heading home, I'm passing by Vintage Stock there in Independence. Well, it's actually considered Kansas City. It's considered Kansas City, but it's right on the outskirts of Independence, so I always call it the Independence one. And I'm passing right by it, and I'm like, what the hell? I'll go in and see what they got. Because I've been playing XCOM Enemy Within on the 360, and I was going to see if they had a PlayStation copy for PlayStation 3, because I went into GameStop, 2 different GameStops, and the guy's like, let me check, you know, and he comes back with the other one, the original one, and I'm like, no, that's not the one I'm looking for. And he goes, well, that kind of sucks. And he goes, well, the one you're looking for is only like $10, and I'm like, great. You know, but I went to 2 different GameStops, didn't see it at either one, asked the people, they didn't have it. So I go to Vintage Stock, thinking, oh, I'll look and see what they have. And I get there, well, I didn't have my cam with me, so I was like going to have to take my phone in and shoot some vid with the phone, which was fine, but I usually don't do it with the phone. And as I was pulling the phone up, I noticed that I had a text message, and I was checking the text and stuff, and the thing was dinging, the car keys. So I just pulled them out of the ignition just a hair, so it quit dinging. And I'm looking at the phone and stuff, and then as I'm looking at the phone, I glance up, and this guy in full military uniform walks by with his wife or something. And I was like, you know, that's pretty cool. You don't see every day see a guy in full military gear, you know. So I was like, wow, that's kind of cool, you know. And I kind of put the phone in my pocket and went and hopped out of the car and locked it and shut the door and locked my fucking keys in my car. So here I am by myself, you know. Luckily I had my phone, keys locked in the car. I, of course, walk around to every single handle on the car door and pull on it, even though I can see they're locked, to make sure it's locked. And then I'm like trying to like see if the window will come down any little bit, so maybe I can get my fingers in there to roll the window down, you know. Nothing. And I'm like, fuck, what am I gonna do? Because I really didn't know what I was going to do at that point. And I'm pretty sure most of you, if you drive a car, have at one point locked your keys in the car. A lot of cars have keyless entry and shit now, so, but I've never owned a car with keyless entry. And so my keys were locked in the car. The only person I know is my brother-in-law. He did some locksmithing for a while and knows how to get into cars and has some tools to get into cars, or you know, house locks and stuff like that. And I call him. My sister has been working on the weekends and stuff now, so a lot of times he's watching all their 3 kids, you know, on a Saturday or Sunday, and this is Sunday. And I call him and I go, what's up? And he's like, oh, hey man, how's it going? And I go, are you busy? You know, and he goes, no, not really. And he's sitting there, and then he goes, just watching the kids. And I go, oh, you know, because I didn't think he'd want to come all the way out there. You know, I didn't want to ask that of him, to come out with the kids and all that. But he goes, your sister's at work. She's not going to be off till like 8 o'clock. What's like 2 in the afternoon? And I'm like, shit. And I go, damn, buddy, I just locked my keys in my car, and I'm out at the Independence Vintage Stock. And he goes, oh, really, man? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, He goes, well, give me a minute. He goes, he goes, give me a minute and I'll call you right back. And I go, well, even if you could just call a locksmith guy or get a phone number for me, you know, and let me know what it's going to be. And he goes, let me call you back. And I go, all right. So I'm still standing by my car. So I go inside the vintage stock and he calls me right back and he's like, well, here's the deal. And I'm like, what's up? And he goes, there's no way I'm going to have you fucking pay that locksmith guy. He goes, that guy wanted $125 and they're not but 2 or 3 miles from where you're at. And he wanted $125 to come unlock your car. He goes, there's no way I would have you pay that. Because I was going to pay like $50 or something if that was the case. And he goes, let me get my tools together and throw the kids in the car and I'll come out your way. He goes, can you text me the address so I can throw it into the GPS thing? And I'll text you when I'm heading out the door. And I'm like, oh man, that's a lot to ask you. And he's like, no man, don't worry about it. He goes, I just feel bad that you have to sit there for a little bit. And I go, it is what it is, man. I don't have any other choice. I said, other than paying the $125 to have a guy come unlock the door. I said, you know, if you want to help me, you'd be a lifesaver. You know, I said, there's a sub shop next door to this place anyway. If I need to go in and kill some time or sit somewhere, I can go in the sub shop. And he's like, okay. You know, I'm thinking, what, is it going to be like 2 hours or something? I mean, I didn't know, but that's what I was thinking in my head, the way he was acting. You know, and I was like, all right, so we'll see what's going on. Well, within like, you know, I go into vintage stock and I'm looking around. And of course, at this point, I'm not filming anything because I'm pissed off that I locked the keys in the car. So there might be an intro to the video on my phone, actually, because I don't know. I shot a little intro right before I was going to go into vintage stock, and then I locked the keys in the car, and I didn't. I might have the intro on my phone. If I do, I'll pull it off, and I'll put it on the end of this video with the fucking junk appeal shit. But I was so pissed off, I didn't even really want to shop, but I didn't have anything else to do. And I go in there, and I'm looking around, and they've even condensed the retro stuff to an even smaller area. Now they've got all the Super Nintendo, Atari, and Sega Genesis stuff all in one little shelf area that's maybe about as wide as my shelf is over here and about 6 feet tall. And, you know, it's like maybe it's sparse. Let's put it that way. And I'm like, this is just horrible. You know, there's just nothing. There's nothing for a retro person in the store anymore. And I go over to the case. I'm looking in there. They had like 2 or 3 Sega CD games. All of them I already owned. And they wanted $20 for the one that was on the top. I think it was Mickey Mouse. Not Mickey. It was a Mickey game. Illusion, Castle of Illusion or something. And I think they had Dracula and something else. I don't remember. Because I was like, I had them all. I was like, it didn't matter to me. They didn't have any box of Nintendo games or anything like that. And so I like looking at the PlayStation stuff. And I go over and I look at the PlayStation 3 games. And I'm like, let's see what that XCOM game is. I go over there. I'm looking. I see the XCOM game. But they're all in there sideways. So you can't see the price because the price on the front of it. I pull it out and I look at it and I about fucking drop my jaw to the floor. They want $30. And I'm like looking, I'm like $30 fucking dollars. They want $10 at GameStop. $10. They want $30 at vintage stock for the same game. And I thought, well, is it a new copy? Because sometimes if it's brand new, you know, they charge more. I look, it's a fucking used copy. And they wanted $30. And I'm like, GameStop's got it for $10, even though I can't find it at GameStop. But you've got it, but it's $30. I'm like, no. I'll order it off eBay for $12 before I'll do that. Brand new on eBay for $12. And free shipping. I was just like, when I saw that, I was like, man, fuck you, vintage stock. I mean, I literally, I was like, that might be the tipping point, man. I can't help but not want to go in there when I saw every once in a while just to see, but it's just hit that wall, man, where there's nothing there. And there's no mom and pop shops, there's no brick and mortar anywhere around here anymore that's worth a shit. It's just the way it is. Maybe I bought them all out. I don't know. So, anyway, one thing I did notice when I was walking around in there was they had a shitload of these strategy guides. And they're all thrown in this big pile. Covers are falling off of them and shit. But they're just stacked in a huge stack, like 5 feet tall, just stack on top of each other. And, you know, there was a few different ones in there, but I noticed that there was some hard covers and stuff mixed in there too. And I look up on the shelf and it says, all used strategy guides are buy one, get one free. And I was like, well, damn, that's a pretty decent deal. And I started looking, and I ended up buying 2 and getting 2 free. And I bought 3 hardcover ones because they were not too expensive, and they're a little dinged up, but they weren't too expensive, and they're nice. So I bought 3, and then I bought 1, but they're all for games that I own, not all games that I've beaten, but games that I own anyway. I think actually the first one that I'm going to show is a game I got stuck on, and I just kind of gave up because I have so many other games, so it was just like, forget it. So this walkthrough might help me. But I noticed a couple hardcovers, and like I said, the price wasn't bad, so I started unstacking these and kind of going through them and looking through them. And they had a Dino Crisis one and some other stuff, but I think I have a Dino Crisis one down here. And so I was like, well, you know, I don't think so. But it had like a map that was still in, or something that was still in it that wasn't torn out, that looked like a big fold-out poster or map, and I thought about it. But I think you wanted like $7 or $8 for it. And I was like, it's not worth it. I know I have a Dino Crisis strategy guide, walkthrough, whatever you want to call it. And hint book, whatever you want to call them. So, I was digging through them, and I did get one that's not a hardcover, but they had a Resident Evil 6 one that was hardcover, but they wanted like $13 for it, and I just didn't see the point. They had a couple of Call of Duty ones, and I think a Halo one, but some different ones that were around that price. Didn't really want them, didn't really see the point of picking them up. But this is the one that caught my eye initially, and then when I saw that they were buy one, get one free, I dug through and I persevered and found 4 of them. Anyway, the first one I picked up is this God of War 3 Ultimate Edition strategy guide. It was $5.99. It does have a scar on the front, whatever you want to call it. A little bit of scratch in the corners, looks like it's been dropped on the corners or something, you know. Spine's not broken, and there's no pages falling out of it, but it's full color. It's hard for me to kind of give you a good overview of it, but you know, there's no rip pages in this one or anything, so that's good anyway. And it was $5.99, so I thought that was a pretty good deal for this, even though this scratch here was a little bit troublesome, and right here on this edge is a little bit kind of worn, and then it looked like somebody wrote either with a little marker or maybe a stamp of some kind right there. But I thought it was just the original God of War, and I was like, how can they have a whole guide for that? Well, even God of War 3, I don't know if it demands this kind of thickness of a guide, but I thought it was pretty sweet. This is good toilet reading, you know what I'm talking about. And on that note, let's see what else we got here. Oh, I forgot I even bought that. This is the one I got for free with that, and this is even thicker than that one. I'm 99% positive I have this for the PS3. I just haven't ever played it. It's an Assassin's Creed 3 official guide collector's edition for Assassin's Creed 3. And it was only $4.99. The stickers will come off fairly easily. Like I said, it's even thicker than the God of War one. You know, it's all none of the pages are dog-eared or messed up. If they were ripped or something, I don't think they would buy them there. That doesn't mean that customers looking through them wouldn't rip them on accident or just because they don't give a shit, you know, rip them. Not on purpose, but if they did, they'd be like, oh, fuck, and walk away. But, yeah, that one's pretty hefty. Yeah, and he turns around and puts all 4 of these strategy guides in a little bag like this. It started to rip out. I was afraid the bottom was going to fall out of it walking out of the store. And this is all while I'm waiting for my brother-in-law, which actually, you know, it took me 10, 15 minutes to look through there. He texted me maybe 10 minutes after he talked to me on the phone and was like, I'm on my way, because I texted him the address. I went up front and got a little business card and typed it into my phone and texted the address. And about 10 minutes later, he was like, I'm on my way. So I knew it would probably take him about 20, 30 minutes to get there. So I'm like, well, cool. It's not going to be as long as I thought. And so I went over, I looked at the pops. I'm kind of I haven't really seen any pops that I'm really waiting for at this point. There's some Mad Max Fury Road ones that are coming out next year, like January or something that I want. But other than that, there's not a lot of pops, and I really don't have any room for them to be buying a whole lot of them anymore anyway. I'm just running out of room for on that shelf. I'd have to make another shelf, and it's just, this shit's closing in around me. So the other 2 strategy guides, we got this one's really in good shape, this Morrowind strategy guide, Elder Scrolls. This one is in probably the best shape of all of them. The cover is actually not messed up at all, and the corners are not, it hadn't been dropped or anything. All of the pages, it's got some nice, you know, artwork on the inside, covers. And I have Morrowind on the Xbox. I think it's the Xbox. It's either the Xbox or the PS2. I think it's the Xbox, though. It came with this, whatever this is. Oh, Jesus, this is big. It came with this. Huge map. So, it was $10. That one was $10, but it was in nicer shape, and it was, you know, thicker than all the other ones. Well, that Assassin's Creed's almost just as thick as this one. But it's for an older game than Assassin's Creed 3, so... Because Morrowind was just like a regular Xbox game or something. Oblivion, I think, was on the 360 and the PS3. And then the final one I picked up was just a Dead Space strategy guide. I've played through Dead Space multiple times, but I've never had a strategy guide for it. It's sealed. I'm not really worried about opening it for this video, but it's the Prima Games strategy guide for it. I don't know if it's got a map that folds out or something on the inside. I'm not sure. And after I dug those 4 out, like I said, there was a couple other hardcover ones, but the Resident Evil 6 one, I don't even think I own Resident Evil 6. I don't think I do. I have Resident Evil 5 on the 360. I don't think I have 6. If I do, it's for the PS3, and I don't know if I do. I didn't know, but I got almost 100 PS3 games, and I didn't even know I had that many. I have like 96 or something. So I went over and I looked at the Blu-rays. I was looking at some of the seasons and stuff. Of course, everything's outrageously priced. But I picked this up. You may have seen it. You may not have. You may like it. You may not. It's a big... he's a big name. Godzilla. Godzilla. Go, go, Godzilla. This was the one from a few years back. The one that they're going to cross over with the Kong Skull Island and do like a new Kong versus Godzilla movie and stuff. This one's pretty good. I like this one. This one, I wasn't a huge Godzilla guy back in the day, but this one, it had all the earmarks of the old school Godzilla, but it also had the effects and look of today, which is good. And the French version is included on here. He had the tail, you know, the lightning that came up the back of the fins. It's like roar, 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 like he's charging up when he fired that breath and stuff. I just thought that was pretty neat. It's pretty damn cool. And it was only $6, and I was like, and I looked at Kong Skull Island, that was $25. I was like, Jesus Christ, but it came out this year, I think, or maybe last year, but I think early this year. Either late last year or early this year. That's pretty much all the pick-up-y stuff. I think we pretty much made it through. I did also pick up this on eBay. It is a Ultimate Exodus hint book. And the cover price on this is $8, and I got it for $7. And this one also has some nice artwork and stuff inside. But this hint book gives you almost everything you need to know in Ultimate Exodus. So that's why I was kind of surprised that we never even had this, that we didn't own this back in the day, either my best friend or me, because it's got a comic book style thing at the beginning, kind of for the story and stuff, and then it's got all your getting started. It's got your character sheets, your dexterity. It tells you what races you should do with what professions and all that stuff, and all the different spells you can get, and how you get the spells. This is probably something they had at Nintendo Power, and you would call, and they would just look in here and go, yeah, that guy's got 47 hit points, but he's weak with poison, you know, kind of deal. But yeah, I think it was free shipping, and I got it for less than the cover price of it on it right now, so that's pretty cool. So, I guess I could show you the shelves a little closer real quick before we sign off, and then we'll call it a vid. Let's check the shelving out real quick. Yeah, we've only got a few minutes left on the camera anyway, but we've got our Super Nintendo and N64 games down there. We don't have a lot of Super Nintendo and N64 stuff, because I wasn't a huge Super Nintendo guy. I was more into the Genesis, but I was modest, you know, because you're buying games at full price back then, you know, so I maybe had about 8 or 10 game titles. I know all 3 of the Mortal Kombats, and the 3 Star Wars games, and Metroid, and the 2 Final Fantasies, and the Super Mario RPG, the Killer Instinct. All those are from when I was a kid. So one of these days I'm going to do the kid video, and we'll show those, and I'll kind of talk about them a little bit more. The N64, I have no real love affair with it at all. You've known that over the years. But I did pick up some titles when they were cheap, or titles that I considered must-haves for the system, which would be Pod Racer, Rogue Squadron, and Shadows of the Empire, the Star Wars games, Zelda Ocarina of Time, Mario 64, which I've never really played, but I know it's like a must-have for the system, and Donkey Kong 64. And then the rest of them are just kind of random stuff that I kind of picked up. Ready to Rumble, Mortal Kombat 4, you know, just some random games. And then we finally got the Nintendo games displayed correctly now. So we've got 100, like I said, 100 and something of them. We've got them, 2 shelves of them up there. Those are more of my more treasured games, I guess you'd say, are up at the top. We've got all the Ninja Gaidans, my black box titles, you know, Cobra Triangle, and that other RC Primes up there, which I'm going to put this one up there. My Super Mario Brothers, my Metroid and Kid Icarus, or Icarus, whatever you want to call it, my Zeldas, my Ultimate Exodus, and my other Ultimas, Shadowgate, Wizards and Warriors, and Iron Sword's not really, but it kind of goes with it, so I put it up there. Same thing with like Blades of Steel and stuff. I just like having all those Konami games together, so I kind of put them up there. That Tiny Toons game is a Konami game, but it's in a white box. And then the Dragon Warrior games. And then down below are you know, they're good titles, but some of them are kind of dogs, like all the baseball, there's 3 bases loaded games there and stuff. But they were cheap, you know, and they're complete. But there's a lot of good titles on the lower shelf, too. It's hard to see because there's a glare on them right now. But, you know, there's quite a few. And then we have our TNC and our Taboo still mint in the box, and the NES Max is mint in the box. And then up here, we got the deluxe set displayed and some of the other systems that are in the boxes themselves. There is a Super Nintendo in there, and a Genesis, and the 32X is in there, and that controller's in that box. But some of the other boxes I just kind of had to store down below. We got our Gold Star, you know, and the other 3DO, and then the TurboGrafx box, which did come out okay. I did that rehab on it, and it came out all right. It's, as you can see, it's not crushed in or really messed up anymore, and it at least has a semblance of decent shape to it. And I didn't reinforce the sides. I thought about reinforcing the sides, but it was mainly the front and the back that were messed up. And I took a secondary piece of cardboard and glued it to the cardboard that was on the inside, and glued down the cardboard that was pulling apart from moisture and stuff. So I think we preserved this for a little bit. And then we have all of our Super Nintendo games. Vampire Mike, Sega CD Universe, said he had to put his up recently, which is, I understand, you got limited space and limited time to play stuff, so, you know, sometimes you just gotta stick with the newer gen or whatever. But our Snatcher, that'll always be displayed proudly. $100 at Vintage Stock, when Vintage Stock was cool. I don't know how many Sega CD games I have, and I've got most of the ones I want. Wirehead I still want to get. Popful Mail would be cool, but it's expensive as shit. And there's a couple of the role-playing games that are Lunar. I think I have one of the Lunars. I think the other one's kind of expensive. I've got Vi, and I've got Shining Force CD. We've got a Lethal Enforcers there in the box, which is nice. Vintage Stock buy. Our Model 1 Sega CD, our Black Dreamcast, our Gold Pin Nintendo, and then we've got our Genesis games. I have to have the Frogger game out. It's my original video game. So it's the oldest thing I have that's video game related. I was telling Jughead82 on his video, he was talking about Christmas stuff because he kind of did a response video to mine. Go check out his response video if you want. He talks about some stuff, and he's a lot more upbeat about the holidays than I was. But he was talking about, you know, some old games, and I think I mentioned that I had a Ghostbusters handheld game back in the day. And I think it was him. Maybe I'm getting confused. I think it was him, though. Go check out Jughead's video anyway, because he's a cool guy. But we've got our Japanese import of Shenmue 2 there. Then another Vintage Stock pickup. You know, like I said, if there's anything cool at Vintage Stock, I bought it from them. Those 2 in-box Dreamcast controllers that were brand new. The keyboard, the Dreamcast keyboard. The Super Nintendo controller in the box, you know, the Genesis controller in the box. There's a Saturn controller in the box. I mean, I got all that stuff in Vintage Stock, and that's why I'm so sad about the state of it nowadays. That satellite, the game gun, the 32X. I mean, I think I got most of this stuff at Vintage Stock, and they just don't have anything anymore, and it makes me sad. But anyway, I know you can't see most of those game titles anyway. And like I said, you know, I had to move the PlayStation games over here. It doesn't look... I have more than this. This is just the long boxes of the PlayStation games. But, you know, it doesn't look like as many when they're not stacked in one big stack up to the ceiling. And, like I said, I think I have some more Genesis games in this drawer. I do. There's more than I thought here. There's about 12 or 14. Ooh, Speedball. Cool. Another copy of Sonic the Hedgehog. That might be like the second or third one I have. This is turning into a marathon, folks. I didn't know this video. Cyberball. Out of This World. This feels light, like it doesn't have the directions. It doesn't. It's pretty bad that I can tell by feeling it, feeling the weight of it, if it's got the directions or not. That one does. Speedball, no directions. Oh, nope. Directions weigh that much, or am I just that in tune with it? Afterburner, black box. I like these black box Genesis games. Directions. Now, what's this one? World of Illusion. Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse. Ugh. Oh, that one has directions. It's not too bad. I didn't know there was this many of them. I'm just going to pull them out. Spinball, Evander Holyfield, Real Deal Boxing, Justice League Task Force, Wheel of Fortune, another Wheel of Fortune game, Fatal Labyrinth, Zero Tolerance, Sonic the Hedgehog, Royal Rumble, and Tiny Toons Buster's Hidden Treasure, which I believe Mike Gardner gave me a long time ago. YouTube! Mike Gardner. God damn it. Sorry, Mike. Like he's watching this video. Probably not. Anyway, there's some more random shit in here. I don't even know. I was just going to get those Genesis games out to put over with that other stuff. Missile Command for the PlayStation. Mark of Cry, just the game disc. Twisted Metal 4, just the game disc. Dreamcast Web Browser 2.0, sealed, baby. That's worth at least, what, 30 bucks online? PS4. Now, you know what this is? This is the original demo disc that came with my original PlayStation. I don't even know if I have my original PlayStation anymore. Or I have to, because I know I didn't ever get rid of it, and I know it didn't crap out. But to tell you the truth, I don't know what my original one is anymore, because I have like a dozen of them. I don't want to go through all this. There's a lot of... What's this shit? Adventures of Tron. That looks like an Atari game. It might be Coleco or in television, I don't know. It doesn't say. What's this? Desert Demolition, Roadrunner, and Wile E. Coyote. It's pretty bad when you don't even know what shit is. And television book, little book. Dreamcast generator. Oh well, fuck it. There's just tons of this shit. I mean, it might be time to give it up, huh? Maybe. Give it up, yeah, all right. PlayStation 2 games. Here's all the other PlayStation games I have. Some random titles. There's some more back in there. What's this shit? Grandia 3, Starsky and Hutch, 007 Quantum of Solace, Transformers the video game, Ratchet and Clank. That was Jack and Daxter for a second. Oh well, that's enough of that shit. But anyway, we got it kind of displayed. Superman clock, you know, closet full of shit. But yeah, I think that looks a lot more, at least I can come in and I can say, hey, where's Home Alone? Oh, there it is, right in the middle. You know, I can find stuff. So anyway, I'm going to, like I said, I think I'm going to, I don't know if I'm facing lights or not or all that shit. I think I'm going to try to tack on the little bit of the junk appeal shit and maybe that intro from when I locked my keys in my car. which is not, I'm not going to be like, damn, I locked my keys in my car, because I shut it off when I saw the soldier guy. So thanks for coming by, folks. Listen to this shit. I don't know how many times I said in it, but I hope it wasn't too many, and I hope I entertained you. Are you not entertained?
Hey folks, Adam here, out and about on a Saturday. I decided to come over here to this place. I've never been here before, but when Flea Mart was closed and there were a couple places that people had posted that they were going to take their junk and put it, and this place is one of them. It's called Junk Appeal. Here's an old shake maker. Ooh, a Darth Vader old-timey carrying case. That's probably from the 70s or 80s. It's dirty. They want $30 for it. It's in good shape though. It's dirty, but it's in good shape. $30 is a bit much. I wonder if I'll fuck. Oh, Garfield glasses, Salvador. Garfield glasses. None of the ones we need. They have two different ones. 4 of one, and they only want 5 each for them. Though that's not too bad. I have them though. They wouldn't have had the one that I needed anyway. But it's just, I told you I never see them, so it's kind of cool to even see them. There's a little Smurfs mug. Kind of discolored, you know, plastic and all. $5. Got a lot of dishes and furniture they want to sell. Anybody looking for 3 ducks? This is exactly kind of like the place my grandma used to have. It was a little smaller than this, but it's the same stuff. This guy's got some records. That almost looks like Apollo Creed. I didn't know Apollo Creed made a record. Or what's his real name? I can't think of his real name offhand. Carl something, isn't it? I don't know, I'm drawing a blank. Gutter hooks. McDonald's commercial. Anybody looking for a weight set? Some hamburger helper. Buy some hamburger helper and a shirt and some gutter hooks. Shitload of Barbie. Michael Jackson Bad record for $50. I haven't seen any game stuff at all. And that'd be a small soldier, I'm telling you. Looks like a medium boys. Like fucking Steve Rogers' soldier outfit from before he got turned into Captain America. This is the first game thing I've seen. $2 Finding Nemo. They've got motocross. Them names, they never let poor Rudolph join any reindeer game. Not seeing anything jumping out. If you look on the edge, if it's orange or like a neon kind of green color, it's usually a TurboGrafx game. But that's where I just happened to find 2 TurboGrafx games at the thrift store one time mixed in with their CDs, and so I always look now, even though I've never found one since. Shooter's Bible. Hell yeah. With your nose so bright. I'm trying to sing over this shit so I don't have to copyright, have one of them copyright fucking ad things put on my video. Doo doo, doo doo doo. Mr. Bubble, that looks old. vintage Mr. Bubble. It is $6. Yeah, I don't want it that bad, but I thought it was cool looking. Cooking and traveling the Cape Cod way. Anybody want an Eisenhower calendar? Or I don't even know what that is. It's a record. Maybe it's a speeches from his presidency. I don't know. Look at this skull. $30. You could put a well, there's no vent in it. You could put a light under it though, but there's no like a hole like you could put a candle or something in there. But then smoke would build up in there and discolor it anyway. $12. I like this dragon too. $20. I've got a cooler dragon at home.
The Alamo Draft House, we're only here until 2.
That picture's pretty damn cool. I wonder what it costs.
Our holiday gift guides, or you can also get one of these awesome
$15. I don't know if I want it that bad, but that's pretty fucking sweet. Hey, a picture of a cock. What if it's a gamecock? Here's one of those like booths I was talking about that just got fucking low-end bullshit. The Star Wars figures for $9 aren't too bad. I don't want them, but oh, here we go. $10. If the top one's $10, I don't even want to know what the rest of them are. Game Boy Advance, $12, but it's pink. I would actually buy it if it wasn't pink. PXP, brand new. I was just hoping I'd come in here and there'd be like 3 or 4 booths just full of fucking video games, but that was a pipe dream. Definitely. Anybody like geodes? $15 for those little skulls. I don't think so. I found shit like that for $2 or $3 each before. It just seems like everybody thinks their shit is worth like a mint nowadays. Here's a couple Snoopy glasses. $2. These might be going home with me because they're about the only thing I've seen so far that I even want. People, like I said, people just think their shit's worth like a mint, and it ain't. That's why their shit sits in their booths forever, and then, you know, you gotta price it to move, you know what I'm saying? And I've never even had a booth or done anything like that. But just logic. If you need feminine products or paper towels or adult diapers, we got you covered. Nintendo, I wonder if this is the guy from, this is probably the guy from Flea Mart came over here. You think? Looks like the same damn case. The same damn Nintendo case. It's gotta be the same guy. Yeah, and pellet guns and shit. It's the same dude. He just came from Flea Mart and brought his shit over here. I wonder if it was his booth I got the thing off of that said this place was here, because I don't remember at this point. Alright folks, so this was Junk Appeal. I mean, I might come out here once in a while and see if anybody's put some new stuff in here, but it's mainly just the stuff my grandma would want to look through, which is fine. I mean, I enjoyed it. I saw some really cool stuff, but it's just too expensive, so we'll get those glasses, the Snoopy glasses. They're pretty cool, and then we'll get out of here. But I'm gonna stop the camera because I don't want to try to hold both of them in one hand and break them. So here we are. This is our big score. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you were here?